Hi, my name is Jerry, and welcome to the Bedsup setup video. Today we're going to go over the setting up of the Bedsup insert. First of all, after you open the box up, I recommend that you lay everything out and look over your parts so you're familiar with the parts you have to work with. You're going to find 4 of the white caps. You'll find a 2, 4, and 6-inch elevation bar. You'll find 12 of the 1/4-inch nuts and bolts. You'll find 3 of the thumb screws, 2 of the heavy-duty wide clamps, 1 small C-clamp, 6 of the box spring retainer brackets, a glide leg, brown extension, and your center leg with a clamp. If you purchase the Queen heavy-duty or the full heavy-duty, you'll have another clamp center leg, glide, another heavy-duty C-clamp, and another of the brown extenders for the center leg. You have 2 short angle iron crossbars that are used for the center support, and you have a left and a right side rail which is hinged together. There are actually 2 pieces of angle iron that are hinged at the foot end. They have 2 pieces of angle iron that are riveted and swing out. One about 6 inches from the head end, the other very close right at the edge of the foot end of the Bedsup insert. If you get this insert and these 2 are not hinged together, then there's a 1/4-inch nut and bolt that could have come loose in shipping. Sometimes with handling this product, because of the size and because of the sheer weight of it, sometimes UPS will, bouncing around, allow this nut and bolt to come loose. After you have this top rail and bottom rail separated, you have to attach it, put it back together at the foot end. Just something that seldom happens, but occasionally can happen for you. Now for step 1, we're going to take the 4 white caps, and the first white cap goes on the top rail. Goes on the top rail of the Bedsup insert. Sticks out about an inch further than the bottom rail. Slide the white cap on. Now the same thing at the foot end. The bottom rail sticks out about an inch further than the top rail. So we're going to put the white cap on the bottom rail, cover up those corners. Okay. So we got our white caps on. Step 2, we're going to choose our elevation. For this setup, I'm going to choose the 4-inch elevation. It happens to be our most popular from the feedback of the customers. Seems to be easy to get used to and does a lot of good for reflux and GERDs and vertigo, what have you. Take the 4-inch riser bar and go to the first hole on the bottom rail. Put your 1/4-inch bolt through. Attach the 1/4-inch nut on the inside. You can just hand tighten it. Go to the first hole behind the white cap on the top rail. Put the 1/4-inch nut through. Sorry, 1/4-inch bolt through. Tighten the 1/4-inch nut to it. We'll just hand tighten them for now. Do the same thing on the other side. Set the elevation bar on the inside. Put the 1/4-inch bolt through. Attaching the 1/4-inch nut on the inside. Top rail, right behind the white cap. Run the 1/4-inch bolt through. Put the 1/4-inch nut on it. Before you go any further, let's tighten those 1/4-inch nuts and bolts. It's very important that you get all your nuts and bolts tightened. It alleviates having squeaks in the insert when it's all set up. Get them good and tight. Okay, so we have the elevation bars attached, and you notice we have the top rail, which you always can tell because it has the swing out bar. And we have it set at 4-inch elevation. So we're going to go now to step number 3. Now for step number 3, we're going to take our 2 side rails and set them into our bed frame. The side rails will actually stick out at the foot end of the bed frame as far as the box spring did before you took it off the bed frame. It'll be several inches of Bedsup insert sticking out beyond the end of the bed frame. If you have a traditional headboard footboard bed, this end of the Bedsup insert goes right where the box spring was before you disassembled it. We take our crossbars and swing them out. We do both sides. We take one of our heavy-duty C-clamps and we turn the thumb screw in. You have thumb screws that just screw into the inside of the C-clamp. We take that C-clamp and we slide it across one bar. We bring the other bar up and we overlap it, sliding that crossbar back. Make sure now your side rails are out as far as you want them, and then screw that thumb screw tight. Pull that tight. Now that's secured and going to stay in place for you. Now you do the same thing at the head end. Make it good and tight. Now, step number 4, we want to put the box spring retainer brackets on the Bedsup insert. There are 6 of these retainer brackets. Take, for the foot end of the Bedsup insert, go to the hole on the crossbar and go to the hole that's in the retainer bracket and slide that through the hole using a 1/4-inch nut and bolt. You can hand tighten it. Coming around the corner, this time we're going to take the same bracket, but we're going to put the 1/4-inch bolt through the slot. And we're going to slide that down in, and we're going to have that retainer bracket even with the outside of the side rail. We have a slot, so if we have any need to adjust it, we can move it back and forth. We're going to put 2 on the side rail, 1 near the foot end and 1 near the head end. Again, we move it in so it's even with the side, and for now we'll just hand tighten it. Now we have our 6 box spring retainer brackets in place, 2 on each side and 2 in the foot end. We're going to go to the center leg support system. First, take your center leg clamp and screw your glide leg into it. This is where you can use the brown extender if needed, but for most setups you won't need that brown extender. It's only if you have too high of a bed frame and you need to get a little more length. So I'm going to screw this up in a ways just so we have it out of the way. Now I'm going to take my 2 angle irons and I want to position them so I have on each end this single hole. I have one here and I have one here. Now just take my center leg clamp, I slide it over top of those 2, and this is where it's handy to have a helper. They can hold it for you. and you go across. Get it to about the width that you want to work with. We're working on a queen size today. Now, I'll take a 1/4 inch bolt and nut, and I go through the hole that's in the middle of the side rail. And again, I'm just going to hand tighten it. Just enough to hold it in place. I'm going to take this then, going to the other side, I'm going to do the same thing. Just extend it out, line my holes up, put my 1/4 inch bolt through, attach the nut, and I line my leg up. Now on most frames, this is exactly how it's going to work. I would tighten this up, and then I adjust my leg down until it almost hits the floor. It doesn't have to be on the floor. Just in case I want to move my frame, I don't want that to bind. I want it to just about hit the floor so that when there's weight on it, then it will touch the floor. If my frame is one that has a center rail running from head to foot, then I may have to slide this sideways, and that's when I would use my small C-clamp. I would put my small C-clamp on in order to hold the rail together and slightly slide this sideways to bypass the center rail that runs head to foot on some beds. This is not needed with most frame setups, but we send it with all of them. Now, that's the way you would set up a standard queen, full, twin frame. And of course, if it's a king size, it would be 2 of these side by side, and this is exactly how you would set up each of the twin extra long sides. If you've purchased the heavy duty frame, then you're going to have another leg, another clamp, another glide. So you simply do the exact same thing, turn your glide leg up into your leg. The nice thing about the heavy-duty frame is the heavy-duty frame spreads our support out. I'm going to put a wide clamp in the center, and I'm going to move the leg over to the middle of this side and the middle of this side. So I simply slide this leg over, I move this apart, slide this over, then I put my extra heavy-duty clamp on. Now my heavy-duty clamp is going to be holding this center bar together, and I adjust these legs to slightly off center here in the middle of either side, and then I tighten them up. After I tighten these up, I simply screw this down till it just about hits the floor, just barely touches the floor. And of course do the same thing on this side over here. Now, we have the Bedsup insert all set up and ready to go. But before we quit, we want to go around and be sure we've tightened everything up. We want to tighten up our brackets, our box spring retainer brackets. We want to tighten up our center legs. We want to tighten up our center bar. And just be sure everything is tight and secure before we put the mattress and foundation on. And again, I want to just show you the Bedsup insert will sit beyond your bed frame on a traditional metal bed frame. It'll go beyond the bed frame, just like your box spring went beyond the bed frame. At the head end, the Bedsup insert will not go the whole way up to the headboard. Your box spring will still go up to where it was, but the Bedsup insert stops shorter at the head end, just like your metal bed frame stops shorter at the foot end. That's how we've designed this insert. Now, one last point of interest, we've taken the Bedsup insert and set it into a traditional headboard footboard bed. And one more thing I want to point out, when your bed sits higher off the floor and your center leg will not touch the floor as you unscrew it, this is where we use the brown extenders. Those extenders go onto this leg, the glide screws up into the extender, and then the extender will go down to reach the floor to give you proper support. If this were just a regular queen, this would be in the middle. Because this is a heavy-duty queen, we put a leg here, we have a leg over here, and we have the heavy-duty clamp in the center, giving us much more support. If this were a king-size bed, we'd do everything the same, except we'd have two of these frames. We'd have one frame that would have one leg in the middle for the one twin box spring, or twin extra long box spring, and then we have another frame beside it that would have, again, one leg in the middle, and that would be for the other foundation. You'd have your two side rails going together, tight against each other. It makes for a very strong king-size setup. It's going to be, as you can see on this bed, it's shorter than what the box spring is. The box spring would come up to about here. The Bedsup insert stops shorter because it's built with the traditional length of a regular metal frame. The Bedsup insert goes down to the foot end where the box spring was ending before.